My name is Amelie, and you are watching the Solastic Intelligence podcast. I'm really excited. I had some really cool information land in, and so I think on Thursday or Friday, I might do a stream on my Digital Age podcast, just a little revamp for it, and it is going to be on the feminine trinity, and we're going to talk about that because it's very much interwoven into this digital age discussion that I'm having. But as for today, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. As I mentioned, I am Amelie. I am the host and creator of the Celestic Intelligence podcast. And I was trying to think like maybe I should figure out a way to like really introduce what am I talking about? What is the full meal deal of what I'm doing here? Um, because I think it's going to be helpful. And then I think I'm going to also um, offer a couple classes for people just to have really strong, direct conversations with people over Zoom. And I might not do that until maybe May or June, but I do want to provide a space for people who want to have, these really deep conversations and be working through some of the things that, I've been working through and or maybe need a little guidance in whatever space that they're in. So stay tuned for that. I'm gently prepping the field for that. Today is, I think it's episode 57 or 58. Where are we? Where are we? That's so funny. 5:33. Episode 57, okay? So we're going to be talking today about essence, and it's very much interwoven into the conversation that we're having on the Celestic Intelligence podcast side of it, because we've been talking about um, this internal foundation of governance, okay? Now, why is this even important? Why is it even a conversation to be having? Why is, having these, like really diving into these topics important? One is because we are in a digital age. And in our digital age, especially in the next stream that I do, you're going to see why it's so important, okay? So I've been sharing with you guys this beautiful foundation that you're going to want to have to be very strong. Now, foundations are important. A foundation can change the look of an overall structure in a big way, okay? If you have even one brick is out of alignment, you're going to see that the more you build up onto any structure. So if you're into architecture, when you're looking at these really beautifully made buildings from the Middle Ages, just different time periods where they didn't even have the technology that we have nowadays, and they were making these really beautiful buildings, okay? But the foundation of these buildings are very, very important. So if you've ever built anything, you'll know what I'm talking about. Even building a table, if one of the legs is longer, you're going to notice it. Maybe you've sat at a table in a restaurant and it's, constantly wobbling. There's reasons why, because, it's out of alignment somewhere and it needs to be addressed. So it's just calling out your name. um, all right. So let's just lay this down. All right. So with some of the topics that we've been having since the beginning of the podcast year, we covered some of this in last year, but we're just kind of restarting and just putting some new energy on top of it, okay? So we talked about survival adaptation, and survival adaptation is going to be linked into what we're talking about today. Onyx Davis. Aw, well, I love that you're here. So thank you so much. So we have been talking about survival adaptation, and survival adaptation is thinking that you're taking care of business, but really you're doing it from a threatened position where you're constantly scanning, like, what's going to knock my tower down right now, okay? Mike's in the house, in the hizzy. Hi, Mike. Hi, Charlie MC. TS. TS is where it's at. Okay, so we talked about survival adaptation, which was a very powerful conversation. And then we talked about sovereign interiority, which is really in tune and strengthened and connected to your own inner world. Now, we as humans have always scanned the outside world and the inside world, okay? That's where our attention is constantly moving. That's where our nervous system is scanning. That's where our brains are, you know, constantly looking like, oh my gosh, am I under threat? Am I under threat? Unless you are safe, okay? Now let's talk about how essence ties into this, because essence is really beautiful. And once you're sitting in your own essence, it's like you're a magnet, and just it's a beautiful energy to be holding. And so to start, most people do not know who they are. Okay, most people do not know who they are. When you're in that threshold moment of going from being a child into a teen, there's a little bit of an identity shift that's happening there. Can you please say free Palestine? Free Palestine. WTF are you talking about? You don't even know what you're saying. LOL. Okay, West dash 6 or C6I. I will find you and see what you're putting out on your YouTube and see if you know what you're talking about. I hope it's really cool. And I learn a lot of stuff. All right, so most people don't even know who they are, okay? They don't know who they are. And the person that they are in whatever moment that they're in is often from that something that they've learned from a response, okay? They've learned this in response to whatever the situation is, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, all right? Julian Sanchez is giving me kisses. Woo, love it. I'm assuming you're a male, Julian, so Smooch is back. I don't think I have the I don't have the things to make kissy faces. All right, so essence is who you are before anything is asked of you, okay? Essence is who you are before anything is asked of you, all right? Essence comes pre-performance. So before performance, before the trauma identity, before your strategy, before validation, internal and external validation, that is your essence. That is who you are. All right. This is how you naturally move. All right. It's how you naturally move. It's how you perceive things. All right. You are naturally moving, you're perceiving things, and you're responding when nothing is at stake. So imagine being in a situation where there's, there's really nothing to lose. And in that embodiment of yourself, that's who you are. All right. Essence can be thought of as being kind of covered, and but it's not built. It's just already there. It's a part of your own internal foundation, your identity foundation, okay? Mike says, please like and subscribe, everyone. That would be lovely. If it's resonating with you, I want only resonance in my streams. All right, so what is not essence? This is a personality test. That is not your essence, okay? Your brand is not your essence. That's a thing that you put over yourself. Your trauma story is not your essence, okay? I've been through lots of trauma. It's not me. It's situations and environments that I've gone through in parts of my life, but it's not me deep down, okay? Um, it is not your coping strategies, whatever they may be, and there may be a lot. You might still, even if you've been working on it, still exercise your coping strategies. Fine. They're not your roles, and we talked about multiplicity a couple weeks ago, and that's just this concoction of all the roles that you have in your life: mother, leader, healer, sister, brother, whatever the identity roles you carry. That's not essence. This is separate from that, okay? And essence is not who you became in order to survive, and we're tying that into the survival adaptation. It's not who you became to survive, okay? We're what I'm working on is getting us out of that survival adaptation, that survival mode, and into your own essence, because it's going to be most beneficial to you. And I still work on it, so it's not like you're just going to push a button or you're just going to listen to a podcast and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm totally healed. Like, if that was a case, then we would have a lot different environment and different energy in the world today, okay? But the core of this is essence is not who you became to survive, okay? This is we're digging even deeper under our skin, inside our sovereign interiority setup. I like to think of it as a chamber, or even what did I call it? A cathedral. I really like to think of my insides as a cathedral, and maybe the cathedral's been not well taken care of, and now I'm accessing those areas to take care of them, okay? So how does essence get covered? Okay, we talked a little bit about survival adaptation, and I think it was episode 55 was survival adaptation. So if you want a little bit more information on that, go back to that stream and listen, and you can listen to it on 1.5. I think I don't talk too fast. Might sound funny, but I don't talk too fast. So essence gets buried under survival strategies. And survival strategies can be fight, flight, freeze, fawn, any of those ways where something comes in and it feels threatening and you're like, how am I going to engage with this? Am I going to face it head on? Am I going to run away from it? Am I going to pretend that I like it in order to like make it kind of go away? Or am I just going to like avoid it at all costs? Not necessarily in a flight way, but just like, it doesn't exist anymore. Those are all survival strategies that we can exercise and use. And on top of that, it's covering up the essence of who we are, because we're too terrified and sitting in our animal brain to even think about a positive way to get out of that, okay? Essence gets buried under performance identities. And I imagine that there's lots of influencers in the world now. It's like kind of a norm in our culture to have people that are influencers. They're out there and they're saying, oh, use this product, buy that product, do this, do that. Get my Mr. Beast bars, go to my Mr. Beast, not picking on Mr. Beast, but just one of the people that I'm thinking about. We have these performance identity influencers. There's lots of other identities that get split online in the digital sphere, but it does pull away from your essence. And I did a really beautiful podcast on it, and I might revisit and revise some of them with my upcoming. I might be just streaming more, so just keep that in mind. And revisiting, because I want to just really refine the information that I was kind of just raw resourcing out last year. Okay. Essence also gets buried under external expectations. All right. This could be from, you may even put these on yourself. Your spouse may put it on you. She reminds me of the Epstein victims, but with more soul left in her eyes. Are you talking about me? That's cool. So external expectations, it could be things that you think that your spouse is expecting you to do. You're kind of overextending yourself in these different ways because you want the feedback from these external sources. I talked a little bit about it. Well, I've talked about it in some of my streams where I have people that have externalized all their validation to be from a parent or be from like their, the parents are kind of the biggest source of this at the moment that I can think of. But because of that, it like broke and fragmented their minds. It's very jarring, especially when like you get further and further away from the things that you love and the things that you love and just truly want to be passionate about. Okay. That's where when you're in your essence, that's the things that you like. But if you're farming that out, your agency out to another person or this expectation or lifestyle, I kind of got caught up in the American dream for a little bit. It was really wild. And at the end of it, I was like, I wasn't even proud that I got my bachelor's degree. It was just like, oh my gosh, that nightmare is over. I wasn't happy in the house that I bought. You know, my car was whatever. And it was just like, you have this American dream. Everyone's just like, American dream and like promoting it. And it really isn't a dream at the end of the day. It's societal expectations of what they think is going to make you happy. I'm much happier now knowing that I rent, knowing that I rent a home. And I'm completely okay with that. I have a job, I have a certain lifestyle, and it's not extravagant. It's fine. I'm very pleased and abundant and provided for. Like, I love my life a lot more than I did, what is it, 8 years ago when I'm like signing the lease on the house, picking up my diploma, getting all this, whatever the American dream was. I wasn't happy. I was empty. I was detached. I was not doing well. Like, it was not good. So I had to pull back from that external expectation, that external validation, and really just refresh, like, what do you really want, and change my life. Okay. Essence also gets covered by chronic stress. So while I was in that situation, I was under chronic stress. I was always worried that this didn't get done, didn't get done. And I had a whole list of honeydews for myself. And it seemed like I worked almost 100 hours a week. And for what? For really, like, it took away from the relationship that I had with my son in his young years. And so it really kind of took away from that. But then it also like stripped me of any identity that I had, any connection that I had with other people outside of me. And the chronic stress was starting to affect my health, where my doctor's like, look, you got to do something different because the trajectory that you're on is not healthy. And I'm just warning you before it gets really, really bad that you need to figure out something else to do. And honestly, thank goodness for him speaking that truth to me, because I heard what he said and it took a little bit of time, but I figured out that I needed to not be in whatever cycle I was in. Okay. So chronic stress is definitely going to cover up your essence. You're not going to be able to connect to it. Okay. Hello, RWRW, and Robert Landreth. Thank you. Hello. Now, the other area that Essence gets buried under is the digital identity shaping. And what do I mean by that is having these different digital avatars online where you're different people in the technological digital sphere, all right? That, I think, is an overlooked piece that we're not necessarily, not that we can't handle it, but that we're not paying much attention to, all right? So think of, you might have a you might have a Facebook avatar identity. You might have digital apps where you're dating or you're just conversating with people like Discord and stuff like that. These all splinter your identity even more so than you are already at, and can bury your own essence, where you don't even know who you are at the end of the day. All right. So the other thing that I want to illustrate is, hello from Damascus, Syria. I always wanted to go to Syria. I want to go to Syria. I want to go to the Middle East so bad. I really want to go to Istanbul. Yeah, that's just one of my places. All right. So people don't lose their essence. They just kind of layer over it, all right? So just think of maybe paper macheing, just these different identities, these different external validations, the survival strategies, the performance. So you're basically kind of building this onion, and a lot of people have said, I'm like an onion. I've got many layers. Yeah, you probably do. Like we all kind of get into this like loss of essence by layering over ourselves, okay? Now, why do people crave essence without knowing it? Because they do. So people are drawn to essence because it feels stable, all right? They feel that stability and they are attracted to that. Like we want to be around stability. People in California moved to Oregon because there was a little bit more stable. Then they moved to Washington, which back in the day it was a lot different. And now they're moving to Idaho. Now they're moving to Arizona. Now they're moving to Texas. Like they're choosing spaces that have some stability because we're drawn to stableness. People come to America because it's seen as stable. And for, what it's worth, it is fairly stable. Like, yeah, there's a lot of movement that goes on in it. There's movement everywhere. We live in an energetic, moving, like, life. That's part of our 3D realm. But people are drawn to essence, and they're also drawn to your own personal essence. And we all have essence, okay? At the end of the day, we all have essence. Syria is a city where Christ, peace be upon him, lived. Yes, I know. I was really sad a few years ago when they were bombing Syria, particularly. I just thought that they were trying to like get rid of some of the history there, which is why I want to go. So people are also drawn to essence because it feels honest. People love that honesty. They're drawn to it, okay? It's very magnetic to be around somebody that feels energetically stable. All right? This doesn't mean externally stable where, and people do. Like when you have a lot of money, people are like more apt to come knock on the door. But energy and money are the same thing. So if you're energetically stable and you're honest, people are going to be drawn to that because your essence is shining. It's very shiny. Okay? Essence does not try to get anything, all right? You can read that. Read what do you mean? The energy? Syria is where Abraham, peace be upon him, lived. I'm telling you, I would love to go to Syria. Okay. Essence doesn't try to get anything. It's not out to get anything. It's raw and real as it is. Okay? The essence is just this, think of it as the light within you just shining. All right? When you start to layer it, when you cover it, the light gets dimmer and dimmer. All right? We're reversing that. That's what my whole shtick is here, is we're reversing and we're becoming bright lights and shining and becoming essence. You can read that in the language. It's in English. From RW? It's in English. Okay. People are drawn to essence because it does not manipulate perception. It's not out to manipulate perception. It is what it is. I am who I am, you know? Okay? People don't respond to perfection, which is funny. Like in my children's life, I've been talking to them about, you know, them trying to be perfect and live up to these external expectations and do what they think is right because, you know, something told them that that's the right thing to do. When really being coherent and connected and really knowing yourself and being honest is probably like way more beautiful than trying to look perfect or be perfect. And so we have this external expectation of perfection, right? But people don't respond to perfection. If they did, they probably wouldn't be on here. I'm definitely not perfect. All right. People are on here and they'll stay on here because I'm speaking a coherent message. My energy is coherent. That's what they're getting, that essence of the message, okay? And that's why if people don't like what I'm doing here, they don't have to stay. I'm not here for them. I'm here for the people that do want to stay, that do want to expose more of their own essence, just even for themselves. And that's who it should be for yourself, okay? Now, moving into the next topic, we're going to talk about essence versus performance. Okay, this is a really sharp contrast. All right. So, performance is curated, it's outcome driven, it's approval seeking, and it's energy consuming. All right. Think about performance. I think about the hustle culture a lot. And I'm like, I don't even want to be a part of the hustle culture. I don't have the energy to spend on trying to perform to whatever expectation is out there. Like, I've really slowed down my energy, even more so than it used to be. Okay. I mean, I used to be very high performing, like trying to do it all. I told you, like, I got a bachelor's degree, I bought a house, you know, I had all the things. I was working my way up a corporate ladder. It's very energy consuming. By the end of it, I was so exhausted and burnt out. I had to take like 2 years off before I could figure out, like, okay, how am I leveling out my own, like, heart rate, my own health? How am I leveling this out? Okay. And yeah, it took a long time, but I've maintained a 35-pound weight loss from that. Like, there was so much stress and cortisol that it was affecting my health, like I said. And so now I'm in a very much better place, moving slower, being very intentional about where I put my energy, and walking slowly. If I step into a room, I pause and just kind of look around. Okay? Because a big part of me was like, you be more feminine. Like, you don't need to be a man in a man's world. Be a female in the world, because we need more of them. More females that are like understanding the energy of what it means to be inside their own cathedral or temple or whatever you want to call it. Okay. So that performance, that hustle culture is like driving you. And it's not truly you. It's just this drive to like be a top performer. Okay. How's your cortisol levels right now? My cortisol levels are very low. I'm so chill. Kindred. Kindred is here. I love it. All right. Feminine females. I know. I don't want to be a masculine female. Okay. Now, essence is not necessarily feminine, but it's unforced. All right. Now, think about these two types of people and the contrast of it. Now, the essence is the person with essence, like a high level of essence, is going to feel unforced. All right. They're going to be internally anchored, and they're not going to try and convince you of anything. There's no need to convince you. Okay. And they're just gathering energy. Very receptive. Okay. This is very much a masculine and feminine, but it doesn't necessarily mean man and woman or like anything with whomever I'm talking to and wherever this is landing. Okay. But having that essence just be, just exist. All right. That's where that magnetism and that attraction to that coherence is going to land for people. And a lot of people may not even know how to respond to that type of energy. All right? Because it's not trying to gather approval. It's just being. All right? So performance is asking to be received. You're out there and you're like, oh my gosh, here I am. Will you take this? I'm doing all of this. Do you like it? Doing. Where essence is just waiting and kind of gathering as things come. All right. So that the energy is very much that receptive feminine energy, but it's not necessarily relegated to just the female. This is male and female. We're both made similarly. Just have little unique differences. Just be you. That's more than enough. Whoop, whoop. Love it. Thanks, Joe. I'm trying to see. Oh, I don't know if you're the Joe. I know. Okay. I think you would have told me. I know a Joe. All right. So performance is asking to be received. And essence is, it just is. Essence just is. And it gets felt. It's a very powerful feeling. Okay. Now, why would somebody fear essence? This is a very deep and maybe not in this segment will it completely land, but essence is it might be difficult to hold in our culture right now, and maybe it's just been that way for a long time, but people will avoid essence because it means that they don't have a mask, all right? They have no control of how they're being perceived, all right? And then there's no guarantee of being approved. Now remember, performance is approval seeking. There's a little bit of control because you're like, here's the mask that I'm wearing, all right? I'm fun times, like I'm this person, I'm that person. Whereas essence is kind of just vibing with the energy that it's gathering at the moment. I went out with someone and I was at karaoke, and I was just the life of the party. Oh my gosh, that's all I wanted to do was go sing on the mic, right? And I was like out seeking a microphone, like somebody give this girl a microphone, okay? I was just feeling it. I was feeling it in the moment. I had a great time, had a great performance, then left. Same person, weeks later, they're like, oh, there's karaoke, let's go do that. And the energy wasn't the same. The energy I was gathering was not the same. I was not excited. I was very tired. I actually wanted to go to sleep and was a little annoyed that I was like still out, not sleeping. I'm by far the best Joe out there. Excellent. Good job, Joe. um, so my energy was very much different. I wasn't into it. I was ready to just go lay down and sleep. Okay? So the essence of me, like I love karaoke, but not in all categories at all times. Like you can't just flip a light switch and then I'm like on to perform for you. RW is back. The prophet Jacob was from Syria and died in Hebron, Palestine. Joseph was from Syria. Oh, Joseph. Got lots of Joes in the chat. All right. So people are going to avoid essence because it means that they're not going to have that mask. They're not going to have control. They're not going to have this approval, and it will expose rejections. Okay. It'll expose any misunderstandings, and it will have you being fully seen. And if you're afraid of being seen, chances are you might have maybe an imposter syndrome. You think if somebody sees you, they're going to reject you. If you think somebody sees you, then and you're in a survival mode and you're like trying to like be the smallest as you can be because you don't want to be seen, and if you are seen, your nervous system is going to like go crazy because now you're in danger. Like, yeah, you're not going to want to show your essence because that is going to be terrifying for you. All right. Now, essence, like the real you, having essence and being exposed in that way is risky because it does not have any room to negotiate. There's no mask to hide behind. There's no control. There's no approval. Maybe there's no external validation going on. Okay. And if you have a fear of rejection, you have a fear of being misunderstood, or you just don't like being misunderstood, or you have a fear of being seen as an imposter, you're not real. You're not real. Who do you think you are? All right. That will be terrifying. And those are real fears that we can experience. Okay. I've been really playing with the fear of being seen because I know that I'm out here and I'm on my podcast, and it is slight risk to do that. Just put your face out there, talk for a few hours online, and then have it just be in the annals of YouTube for who knows how long. Okay. There's a certain risk of being seen in that. People gonna look me up? Are they gonna say this? They're gonna come on and tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. They're gonna come on and to call me a witch. They're gonna come on and call me, whatever names. And I mean, they can. I don't have any like blocks on people. I have people in the chat that are my moderators, but beyond that, I don't have any other protection, any other form of protection. Okay? I'm simply just showing up and speaking into things that I've been experiencing. All right? there's a little bit of vulnerability in that. I do share stories about things that have happened to me. Maybe not all the stories, but I do share stories about myself. So there is like this raw and realness that comes with it. If I had a fear of being seen, I definitely wouldn't have my face up here. Okay. People might not like it, my face, and that's fine. Might not like my personality, might not like my voice, they might not like whatever. But I don't need their validation. That's where your essence just kind of shows brightly, all right? So I'm not scared of their rejection. In fact, I don't even think I'm kind of coming into a spot, and I'll talk about it a lot in my next stream because the topic is going to be really spicy. Not spicy. I shouldn't say that because I think that has a negative connotation. It's going to be very raw. We'll say that. Well, you have a nice face too, Jacobs. Wait, I think you've been in here before. Thank you. You look spicy, to be honest. I might be spicy. You're probably not wrong. But my next podcast is not going to be spicy. I don't think it's spicy is the right word for it. Okay. So let's look at, because we talked a little bit about the essence plus the survival adaptation and that fear that is associated with that. But let's talk about the essence and the sovereign interiority. Remember, the sovereign interiority is that strong internal governance that you have. And these are going to be super tied together. I don't like getting choked or getting slapped. I don't like any of that. I'm very vanilla. Oh, cool. You're still up and alive, running around with, I can't even see what your thing is. Yep, Kappa. I don't know if the Essence stream is the right place for it, but I had to come. I had a conversation with somebody, and it ended up being it was a spicy conversation. That's the thing. However, they were talking about like doing these very intense fantasies that I was not interested in. And like at the end of that, I realized that I am not interested in anything that's going to be like an aggressive, like fantasy, including choking, slapped, spit on. Like, I don't like any of that. Very much, I don't even want to say vanilla, but very much not any of those things. Do I want that to happen? Hi, 7-Eleven. To me. And, you know, there's lots of other people in the world that do like that. Not me. Like, life swipe left, or I don't know what it's called. Right. Is it right or left? I don't even know. But don't bring it to my front door. I think I even like, I don't know, it was very triggering, and I like went on this outside rant. I was running downtown Eugene. I was like, oh my gosh, don't ever slap me, don't choke me, I'm not into any of that. Keep it on your side of the street, was what I was saying. It's very funny. All right, so Essence is risky because, you know, you will get rejected. So that's fine. Not everybody rejects me. I'm okay with that. Maybe it's just a way to like knock people out of my life that I don't need to be dealing with. Maybe that's a thing. So I embrace rejection now. I'm like, okay, not afraid of it. I actually embrace it. I'm like, oh, well, you're just kind of like doing a service for me right now. Just kind of rejecting yourself out of my own energy circle. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I didn't even have to do anything. Awesome. All right. So we'll talk a lot more about that in the next stream, but just kind of getting back to our topic of essence and sovereign interiority. So it's essence is requiring you to have a well-governed interior system. Okay, it needs to be well-governed. You need to be very present with it, know what's going on, and know why these feelings and messages and just things that are showing up in your life, why they're there, both externally and internally. All right. This is very important for you to be scanning both of these and just aware of them. The next, essence requires a regulated nervous system. You're going to get nowhere, no how, if you're relying on your amygdala to keep you alive. Okay, you're not going to be tapping into your essence. You need to have your circuitry with your prefrontal cortex switch on to your prefrontal cortex. That is showing your nervous system that you're safe, you're regulated, you're able to make good decisions, you're calm, you can be present, you're not like frantically searching for a solution. You're in your body and you're able to pause and then scan instead of like react. If you've ever been in a business where it was just constant reactions, it's so draining. Okay. And it just shows you that that business has a poorly regulated nervous system. It's very dysregulated, and you may be regulated, but being around that dysregulation still wears on you. It's going to take your energy. I ordered How to Slay a Wizard today and can't wait to read it. Yeah. I've been watching all the How to Slay a Wizard videos, so I need to get on ordering that. And then the essence requires this reduction in survival scanning for the threats, trying to detect where are they at. Okay. It needs to have this because if you're constantly bracing, all right, if you're constantly tense, constantly scanning, you are not accessing what's natural. Like I said, this is an on-off switch. Two ways. All right. You're either dysregulated and scanning because there's something immediately you're in danger, or you're regulated. All right. Now, when you're regulated, you're constantly accessing just this natural energy, calm. All right. There's no tension because essence lives underneath the tension. But the tension is going to get noticed first. All right. Because it's like, oh my gosh, there's something here that's causing an issue. So somatically, if you have like, my neck is always, I'm always having some sort of tightness in my neck. All right. Constantly working I get massages, I take Epsom salt baths, I soak for like 1 to 2 hours in them. It's not like 15 to 30 minutes. I'm talking long soaks, all right? Because really at the end of the day, I'm here trying to seek my own essence and have it be the most honed in energy as I can. All right. Now moving on to we're on section 9 already. What accessing essence feels like, all right? So it's really interesting that we talked about like people fear it. So they're constantly holding up this mask, and your arms must be really fucking tired doing that all day. Okay? They're constantly trying to control so that they can manage and manipulate the perception of them. I got to keep up this certain identity, because if people really see me, they're going to not really like me, which is opposite. Opposite. People like you for being authentic. They love it. When I started streaming in 2019, the one thing, because I was like a little scared to like go on and do this and not have any viewers. I'm like, oh my gosh, people are going to see me. The first thing that the people that were like coaching me told me is like, don't worry about doing anything wrong. People will just like you for your personality and they'll want to watch. And it was true. My authentic self, in whatever authentic self I was holding in the moment, was like I had gained, a whole host of followers, and people liked my content. They liked to come and listen to me. And much love, y'all. Time for bath and sleep. I love that. Enjoy. I find that if I'm watching things and it appears to like be AI, I get turned off immediately. I'm like, this isn't real. I just get turned off. I'm like, I don't even want to entertain it. I don't even want to entertain it. And maybe the information was cool, but then I'm like, I can't watch it. I want to see real people. People with filters. Like, I turned off the dating apps. I'm done. I had my taste of what energy is out there, and I'm just like, I'm done. Okay. But like, as I'm cycling and filtering through these profiles, like the men that have filters on, like, why do you have a filter on? Like, I want to see the realness. There's this really cool song. I don't know if you guys know who Dorothy is, but what was that song called? Let me look it up. Her album is amazing, by the way. I like listening to it. Very raw, very Lilith. Dorothy, where is your tongue with your red lipstick? Home. Maybe if I look up artists. Dorothy. Oh, there it is. Rock is Dead from 2016. Don't play it because I don't want to get kicked off YouTube. There's a song called Dark Nights, and she's talking about meeting a man. And this is like, I think a lot of women just really like that. Meeting a man who has like rough hands, scars on his face, and like understands what it's like to go through this dark night of the soul. Like, just to have that connection. And she's like, I want to see the scars on you, to know that you know what it's like to go through difficult things. Moods, what up? Hello. Highly recommend Dorothy. The song is called Dark Nights. Very much like a rock song, okay? The whole album is wonderful. White Nights is kind of funny. Hi, Mr. Nargis. Welcome. All kinds of people peeping in. All right. Where were we? Okay, so what we talked a little bit about what it's like to have the fear of essence, which is like, being exposed and all that. And but what does it feel like when you're actually accessing your own essence, all right? Now, this is going to be an experiment, and it does take a little bit of time for you to get there, but it's going to be less effort, all right? Remember, essence isn't like out there performing. Essence is just being, just is. So there's going to be less effort, okay? So think about really slowing that energy down so that relying on these masks or avoidance of rejection or whatever the situation is, you're going to have a lot more energy because you're not expending it. You're gathering, the energy is coming to you, okay? Because it's magnetic. Just think of it being like a magnet, a light magnet, kind of like the little thumbnail that I created. It's going to be less overthinking, all right? My next stream that we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about overextending, overthinking. It's going to be a part of that, all right? But we're doing less overthinking. We don't want to overthink. All right? When you access essence, it's going to be slower, all right? So you have to slow down a lot, but it's going to hold a lot of clarity. There's going to be a lot of clarity. It's going to be a slow energy, and it's going to be okay. Everything gets done if you're fast or slow. All right? I like to shout my best friend, we've been best friends, I can't say for 30 years until the end of the year, but we're going on 30 years. So we got 3 decades. And she's very much this beautiful, slow-moving Taurus. Like, she is constantly going, but she's so slow and like intentionally using her energy. I just love her so much. And she got a career where it's very fast-paced. She is a nurse, and so it's very fast-paced, and they're like, oh, you need to go and do this, and she's like, she just isn't that, you know? She's just like very slow and intentional and making sure that she's gotten everything taken care of for her patients and just people around her. Even cooking with her is like a long process. So like for me, it really kind of checked me of like, oh, I would be doing things this way and like getting it all done because like the high performer in me is like just do the things and be very efficient. And she still gets it done, just in a different space. And I admire that about her. And I told her that I was like, I really admire your energy just being that slow. And that's something that I'm working on, is slowing down my energy so that I'm I'm waiting for the energy to come to me so that I can read it appropriately and have whatever clarity comes from that. Okay, so it's very slow. There's going to be a confidence that's just grounded, all right? So for me, especially now that I've like done all my year of refinement last year, you guys, oof, rough, but I did it. There's a certain confidence that comes when like you're not worrying about all these extra things that go on. Does that mean that I don't prepare for stuff? Absolutely not. Because my inner masculine is still there, like talking to me and saying, hey, get toilet paper because, things are kind of gearing into this like fear thing. Like you're reading the energy. You can feel the energy. Like people are going to start getting really anxious. So you know the trends and you can see the future. So just get these little things and have a little bit of buffer for yourself, okay, for you and your family. And it's not in a way where I used to do it in this like, oh my gosh, if I don't have it, then I'm going to die kind of feeling. It's more of a, we're just going to have that just in case. It's not too anything too extravagant, but we're going to have it just in case so that we're taken care of for a certain period of time. All right. Um, so it doesn't mean that the preparation isn't there, but the grounded confidence in knowing that the energy that I'm reading is clear and that I can read it. And I'm not overthinking the thing of like, if I don't get toilet paper and have X number of gallons of water, this or that, like, I'm not doing any of that. Okay. I know that God is going to provide for me. And that's the grounded confidence that sits there. Does that mean I don't move? No. It does mean that I'm trusting in provision from God from a day on a day to day and throughout the year. Like, I'm not worried about what's going to happen to my body, but I do have to care for a child. So I'm going to be listening to my own inner masculine so that when I am in my person, when I'm in my essence and I'm present in my body, that I'm not sitting there in the back end like worrying like, oh my gosh, I don't have this, I don't have that. Like, I don't worry about that. Okay? And that's what accessing essence is like. And then the last piece is there's going to be a natural expression. All right. You're going to be confident in that natural expression. And I like to change my look all the time. And I like to change how I talk. I like to change what my hobbies are. Like, I'm constantly changing. In fact, I'm like obsessed with water, which is this channel. People getting weird over there. Hi, Queen of Eagles. I love you. Oh, people getting weird over there? No, I'm just with the oil crisis, and there was something else where people were just like, but definitely with the oil crisis, I was like, just in case. Like, I remember what quarantine was like. And right now, there's a lot of countries that are being like restricted of their energy resources. I'm very grateful to be an American where I don't really have to worry about a lot of that stuff. And not that a lot of people do, but this is how I respond to it. Like, okay. What is this channel about? Well, Kermit, gas is 9 something out here in downtown Los Angeles. That is crazy because I think in 2020 when I went down there, I think the highest I saw was almost 7. So, yeah. So things like that, I'm just responding to. And not in a, like, if I don't do this, like, I'm going to be whatever. I'm just doing it I know that I want these essentials stocked in my home. Certain foods, just restocking my pantry and just making sure that I have all the things that I need if I didn't want to leave my house for a couple weeks, that I would be cared for. And I probably could last about 2 months right now with my wherewithal, my love of cooking, and the stock that I have. So I'm good. So natural expression is going to be the next that last piece of what accessing your essence is going to look like. So natural expression is responding in like natural ways to when people come up to you and talk to you, like giving eye contact and listening to their story, responding gently, like removing yourself, not being a prisoner of conversation or anything like that, which has happened to me. Oh, nice. I'm interested. Yeah, psychology and self-development. Yeah, it's right now I'm mostly geared on let's really become present in ourselves. And that now that we're talking about it, and maybe we can just have a little side conversation about it, because my next podcast is going to be definitely on this. But I know, I just have this like heart knowing that when people are like connected to their sovereign self, like their own essence and their being, and they're able to access that and then be like have these reasonable interactions with people where it's not like they're angry or hate people. Like I get kind of triggered when people say I hate people, and I'm like, what do you mean you hate people? You hate people and you're a manager? Like, why would you be a manager if you hate people? Like, find a job that you're not interacting with people, because you're just making other people miserable with your dysregulated nervous system because you don't like people. Um, so I really focus on like, let's get to know our internal selves, because I believe wholeheartedly that once your internal self is like um, connected, like not just your body is connected with your soul, but like your whole body is connected. Your whole body celestically is connected with the spirits and just the energy around you, that you have the ability to make the biggest changes that are positive in the world, because our like the way that we are and that interior, once it's like once you're really connected with it, like you're the most powerful. Like we have these amazing bodies that are able to do some really incredible things. So that's what we're talking about here. So yeah, lots of psychology. Um, Tomorrow's not promised for no one, so enjoy life to the fullest. I certainly am. I love life. I love my life. My life now compared to my life 8 years ago is very drastically different, and I'm like so much happier and fulfilled in my own life. Despite a lot of the things that have happened, it doesn't define me. Okay. All right. So, what accessing? Okay. So, what it is not, it's not hype. All right. You're not hyping up. There's no adrenaline. There's no intensity. Like, this is just being. This is just being who you are. All right. And you don't even really need to try when you're in your essence. Okay. So, how does essence show up in real life? It's how you speak when you're not rehearsing. All right. It's being able to talk on a podcast for like almost 2 hours and just being real and staying with whatever the conversation is. Okay. I love talking, it's one of my favorite things to do. I love talking and having long conversations. I like listening to audiobooks. I like listening to podcasts. Um, so there's this really beautiful like push and pull energy with it. But it's when you're not rehearsing, you're not sitting there thinking like, oh, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go be like this, right? There's no rehearsal. It's just like you just are. You just showing up. Um, Essence shows up in how you move when you're not being watched. All right. I spend a lot of time at home. I dance. I sing. I sing what I'm doing. I'm reading, creating. Like, there's a lot of different shifts in um, me, but it's the movement of what am I moving around? Am I redecorating my room? Um, so that essence is who I am when nobody's watching, right? And I spend a lot of time alone, so I get to practice a lot of essence in that. It's what you choose when nobody's influencing you. And this is an interesting one because we were just talking about influencers, right? And yeah, we can get caught up in some of their little spiels. Oh, try Wonder Skin, try this, try Botox. This is what happened when I did Botox. Um, this is me on my GLP-1s. This is me on my Ozempics. Check out my this, check out my that. It's a lot of influence, right? If you're able to turn it off and really know what you want to choose, because I see these Botox things and I'm like, I'm 42. Like, should I go get the Botox? Um, and my girlfriends are like, oh yeah, I got Botox. I loved it, or this and that. And I'm just like the real essence, the real me when I'm like choosing is no, I'm not getting Botox. Um, no, I'm not taking the GLP-1s. No, I'm not like using face filters. No, I'm not doing this and that. Like I'm choosing to like that's the choices that deep down that I want. And I'm like, guess me and Pamela Anderson. We're just chilling. Britney Spears, I don't think she had too much work done, but there's just a real beauty in being able to age gracefully. And so I'm like, that's really what I want. I don't want to do any of this other stuff. But there's a lot of influencers out there that are like, go on and do it. What's the harm of it? You're choosing you. And not that if you're doing that, like it's necessarily negative, but just like be the essence. If that's what you want to do, like choose that. Don't do it because there's all this influence around you. Your skin looks so good. Yeah, well, you still like, I don't know. You can see. Let me scrunch it for you. Let me scrunch my face for you. So funny. But thank you. And then it's how you relate when you're not trying to be chosen. So when we're trying to be chosen, we might try to put our best foot forward, so to speak. And when you're showing up in your own essence, the way that you're going to relate to people is just going to be real, right? The puppy dog girl that's like looking for daddy might show up and try to be chosen. Oh, choose me, choose me. I think the term is pick Misha in certain communities. But when this is how you're trying to relate when you're not trying to be chosen. So you're just like, you show up and you're like, oh, hi. One of my friends, she's really good about just like, she'll find a person and she's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to sit and talk with this person for like 5 to 10 minutes. Go do your thing. And I really admire that, like, about her. Like, she's just able to go up and have these really real conversations. She's not trying to be chosen. She's just showing up as herself. And it's just really beautiful and admirable to see somebody that's like showing up in their own essence. So, okay. So when you shift from that performance of trying to be chosen and all of that to just allowing, all right, you're just being, you're not you're not becoming essence, you're just removing all of these layers that you've put over yourself. You're removing the masks, you're removing the control, you're removing the fears. And we're just continuing to do that and dig and dig and dig until we get to that essence again, to where now we're just allowing, okay? So we're removing that excess effort, the over-identification, the survival tension that may be like still sitting in our bodies. Essence isn't there to be improved on. It just is there, all right? And we all have this capacity to hold our own essence. And it doesn't require permission to show up. It's just, like I said, it just is. All right. One more thing, and then we're going to close. So because now we're kind of ending the first unit, basically, of the Celestic podcast, the way that I have it structured. we're ending the foundation and we're going to be moving into structure. And we're going to be talking about structure, and what that looks like and how we can build on some of these concepts that we've talked about in the last few streams. But now we're kind of in this interesting space where we're in this horse year, okay? So why does it matter that we're looking at this now? Because that horse energy is going to amplify visibility, movement, and exposure, okay? The horse wants to be seen. It's very much like get out there energy. Whereas last year we had the snake energy. It's kind of like just kind of hide away and like lick your wounds and figure it out. But like once that has been shed and we're moving into this newer energy, because we have this fire horse energy now, like that movement, that visibility, and that exposure are going to be helpful to quickly integrate it, all right? It's going to amplify those things. So if you're performing, you're going to be burning yourself out, all right? And when you're in essence, you're going to be magnetic, okay? Things are just going to come to you. And so we're really trying to tap into that energy, okay? We're not trying to be performers. We don't need to like entertain the world. We're not the circus, okay? We're humans. Fear nothing is the best advice, mostly. Yes, absolutely. Oh, very, very interesting. Yes, I'm definitely feeling that. Yeah, it's really, how should I say this? When I named last year the year of refinement, I had no idea what I was doing. And I put myself through the fire, and it was very difficult. There was so much removal, like this, what I'm talking about with the fear of rejections and all that stuff. Like I had to remove so much of it. And then even more so, like this codependency that, you know, kind of sits in my system. I want to say it sits in like this external validation. It's an external validation, but then also like the soft landing if something doesn't go right. So that was very interesting and very much embedded in a lot of the podcasts that I did last year. And so this year I named it the year of connection because I wanted to be around. I was like, I need to, like, this hermit isolation energy. While I appreciate it, like I'm very much over it. I want to be around people. And so kind of looking at inviting, what kind of energy am I inviting in? So yeah, very, very fun. But the horse energy is good. Okay. So in closing, all right, we don't need to become anybody new this year. Okay, we don't need to tack on another identity to who we are. We don't need to do that. Okay, we just need to stop performing about who we are not. All right, so we're gonna lay down the performance and we're gonna just like let that go and just kind of be in our own selves. Okay, because our essence is already here. We just need to stop interrupting how that is being showcased, how we're accessing it, or even trying to hide from it, which is probably more likely. Okay, so this is the end of the foundations. So we talked about multiplicity, we talked about survival adaptation, we talked about sovereign interiority, and next we're going to be moving into, we're going to be talking about feminine energy on Thursday or Friday. I haven't decided what day out. It might be on Friday. I have some people coming in to do an estimate on an appliance. So I'll be home, and so it'll be easy for me to kind of access it. So it's probably going to be on Friday. I'm going to think about that a little bit. And then we're going to be moving into really adding a little bit of structure to what we're talking about with some foundations. So we're going to be talking about money. We're going to be talking about nervous system governance, how this is important, with some a little bit more flair from last year, and then we're going to continue on because we're just going to be building a nice little interior cathedral. I like to call it a cathedral, but we can call it anything else too. Temple or whatever you want to call it. So hopefully that landed for you guys and it was pleasurable for you. I always love coming on. Like I said, if you've made it this far, please make sure you like, subscribe, and follow with the notification bell so that you get updates. And at the beginning, I was talking about maybe holding a couple classes later on this summer to kind of just dig into some of the information that we're talking about and maybe have a little bit of one-on-one time to get that done up. But I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for joining. This has been episode 57 of the Celestic Intelligence Podcast, and I am pleased to deliver this message. I hope it was really rewarding to you, and I will see you guys later. Bye.